everyone, and welcome once again to the St. Lucie County Public School Speakers Bureau. We thank you for tuning into this program. We ask that you hang in there and listen throughout the program. We have wonderful speakers that come from all over this county that have made a difference in their life profession. And they come on to share their life story with us so that we can be encouraged, inspired, and influenced by their lives. And so we look forward to our guest today. Our guest today is attorney Evett Simmons, and she is the one of the owners, I believe, of the Simmons, Finney, and Winfield law firm. Right. Am I right there?
You're absolutely correct.
And a longtime resident of St. Lucie County.
I have been here since 1987.
Oh my gosh. So we're going to hear all from Attorney Simmons, and she is just going to share with us some nuggets of truth that you only acquire as you live through life. So we want you to know, young people that might be out there, we want you to know our path so that you have a path that you can take that will open up for you in your life. Welcome, Attorney Simmons, and thank you so much for coming. We know you have a busy schedule, and we certainly appreciate your concern and your love and your care for this community and for our children here in St. Lucie County Public Schools.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
You are so welcome. Now, we're going to start out with you just talking about your profession and telling us what you guys do at the law firm and how long you've been doing it, and anything you want to discuss about that, now would be the time.
Okay, then. Simmons, Finney, and Winfield is a law firm that we have offices here in Port St. Lucie, and we also have an office outside of Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm Simmons, and I'm the managing partner. Linus Finney is one of my partners, and the last partner, Elizabeth Winfield, she runs our Georgia office, and she's my niece.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And in fact, it's somewhat of a family business because our chief financial officer is also my niece.
Okay.
Deidre Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been an attorney, 43 years.
Wow.
And most of that time I was in a large law firm. Mm-hmm. And 5 years ago I decided I was going to have a smaller office, and then that office now has become 5 lawyers and 14 employees over the two
Over 5
states.
years, yeah, within the last 5 years.
Within the last 5 years.
Wow.
And I do a lot of probate and guardianships and estate planning. One of my partners has a lot of personal injury. We do veterans work, business litigation, family law, and actually criminal.
Wow, so it's a wide range of law.
Right, we have a full service firm, and we're here in St. Lucie West.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. Wow, just to get that nugget lets me know that I have someone right here that deals with a wide range of different issues and situations.
Yes.
So, Attorney Simmons, tell us, how did you get into the field of law? How did that happen?
It's amazing. I asked myself that question too. From a child, I believe I wanted to become a lawyer. I was one of those in the 3rd grade that integrated to schools. I was the only black child in my 3rd grade, my 4th grade, my 5th grade.
And where was that?
This was in Fernandina Beach, Florida, north of Jacksonville. And my mother passed away when I was 10, and my aunt raised me. And we didn't have a lot of money. In fact, we didn't even have a car. But we were on an island, the Amelia Island, so it was, you could walk places, and we had a lot of, the church was fantastic, friends, and others that gave us rides when we needed to get rides, and we were blessed because we had so much love that money wasn't was a second thought.
Yeah, I was
at least for
gonna say
me as a
secondary.
child.
Yeah, right.
As a child, I'm sure she was struggling because she worked 2 jobs trying to make sure that we kept it together. But she always made sure that I lacked for nothing, and that and I always believed that that if I dreamed it, worked at it, I could accomplish it, and she did not want me to know otherwise. Notwithstanding her not having a high school diploma, nor my mother, nor my father.
Wow.
So, but I knew lawyers were out there. The first time I met one was in college, and I knew I wanted to become one. And so God blessed me that I was able to become one.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Wow. And we're talking about how many years ago?
We're talking about in 1965 was when I integrated the schools, and in fact, when I went to college, I went to Florida Southern College in Lakeland, Florida. How I got there was through the School of Christian Missions in junior high school. I went there, and I got involved with the United Methodist Church, very active with that, and that's the only school that I applied to was Florida Southern College. And I would have been in trouble if they had not admitted me. And
Why do you say that?
because that was the only school I applied to.
Okay, we got it.
And so I went there, and believe it or not, for the last 22 years, I've been on the Board of Trustees at Florida. I was the only black child in my student in my dorm as a freshman. And now I've been on the Board of Trustees. In fact, there's a building, the Simmons Center, at the college in Lakeland, named after me.
So how do you tell us what you went through as being the only black child? Were you in a private school?
Oh no,
Public school?
I was in a public school. I remember the 3rd grade. Like I said, I was the only black child in my 3rd grade, and I remember straightening up the books and the teacher coming behind me and hitting me with the paddle, and the kids laughing. I remember my mother at that time, she got me to school the best that she could, and occasionally I was late, and I remember the principal telling me that if you come to school late one more time, I'm going to send you back where you came from. I remember the 4th grade teacher, who was very nice, but was asking me, well, what kind of detergent did my mom use to wash my socks and things like that. You know, you remember those things, but at the same time, all of those things are a part of why I am who I am now. Because the good experiences are better because you realize what you went through to get there.
So you appreciate so much more what you have now because of what you went through to get there.
Correct. And so when kids are having difficulty, it's not going to be like that always. And sometimes you got to look at somebody else to see, okay, they went through the fire, and they came out on the other side.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
then, if I go through this fire, I can come out on the other side because I see somebody that's done
made it through, that
made it through. And don't let people tell you that you're less than what you are or who you are. My motto has been, for as long as I remember, in fact, I had it on my my little cards when I graduated from law school, that you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. And that has been my motto, and it has worked for me. When times are hard, I smile. When times are bad, I smile. And it's because that's been my disposition, because I know I have been blessed. Even with the hard times, that's
I mean, you
another
had a
must.
loving family.
I have
You
had
had
a
a
loving
loving
family.
auntie. She was your mom's sister.
She was my mom's sister.
And because of the love, what I'm hearing you say is, even though you were poor, that love is what really helped carry you.
Right. It was, and the neighbors. I mean, during those days, before you got home, she knew what the issues were because
The community was
it
involved.
was a community that
Was involved.
You need a community
Yes, you do.
to raise a child.
Yes, you do.
And I feel sad for kids now who don't have that community, and they have the cell phones, the computers. They don't have the interaction, and you need that social interaction.
You do, yes.
To fully develop as a person.
Yes.
And so so it's like we may not have had a lot of stuff, but we had a lot of love. Now they got a lot of stuff, but they need more love.
Yeah, lack of love. Everybody's concerned about themselves today,
Yeah,
where before
and
everybody was concerned about one
each
another.
other. Yes.
And maybe that's because they didn't have
That's true.
what we
That's
have
true.
now. Now we don't have to be concerned as much about our fellow man because we have certain things now in life. You
Yeah.
know? In other words, we could go across to the other side of the canal now.
Yes.
You know, so I know back in those days, you couldn't go, but you had to stay in your own neighborhood.
Right. Right.
And you couldn't go across that canal or that whatever that road was.
Yes. The railroad track is
Yeah.
what they call it.
Especially here in the South.
Yes.
Florida's nothing but the South.
That's true.
You know, I'm from New Jersey. I had a different experience. But the one thing I didn't have was I didn't have the love in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And it was really rough in the home. So the love wasn't there either. But as you said earlier, it's what we make of it. We don't have to drown in certain circumstances, whatever those circumstances are. We got to believe in ourselves
Yes.
and tap into who God, the
made
gift
us
that
be.
made us to be. There you go.
Yeah. And,
Yeah,
and
in
it's-
spite of what other people say. You know, I grew up in a home where I had a stepfather that was mean, and he had nothing nice to say about my mother or us. But I did not believe what he said. I knew who I was.
Amen.
And I just had to wait for that time and be who I was to
Yes.
get to where I am today.
That's true.
You know? So yes, regardless of poverty or whatever the situation may be in the home today.
And even kids who are rich, they're hurting because they don't have love or
Yeah.
connection.
Yes.
And they need to know that money is not everything. And sometimes what you have to do is be willing to accept people as they are, and be willing to share and to basically not think you're better because you have, because everybody can teach everybody
That's right.
something.
That's right. Everybody can
They
teach
teach
somebody
everything.
something. That's so true. And that's why we should forever be learners and
Yes.
willing to be open to hearing what is being
That's
said,
true.
because you never know that one nugget. And you mentioned that one thing that someone said to you
Yes.
that went with you for a long time.
That's true.
And leading into that is your book of poems. And I am so proud to say that my daughter said one thing one time as a high school student.
Yes, she
and
did.
Attorney Simmons, you were able to grab that. A lot of people think, well, I'm already there. I don't really need to listen to. There's nothing a high schooler can say to me. But because of her influence as a poem that she said in high
That's
school,
true.
it's now in this little book here that you have that is Black History Poems.
That's true. That's very true.
So talk to us a little bit about this book, and I've learned before we started airing that you're an author as well.
Yes.
And that you have written a couple of children books. Would you talk to us about your books that you've written?
Yes, I from a child, I wrote. And one reason I wrote is because it helped me manage my emotions. Even in junior high school, because I was in the accelerated programs, and one reason I was in the accelerated programs was by being one of the first to integrate the schools, then I was able to have a more quality education than the other black students because the books were better in the white schools than in the black schools. And when schools were fully integrated, by that time I had been in the classes for so long, I was on the path for the accelerated courses, and therefore very seldom was I in classes with black students. And what some of the kids would do would be they would do things like throw my projects on the ground and things like that. They just bullied me because of that. And it wasn't my fault.
They learn from their parents. Kids learn from their society and their,
And so how I would get back would be to write my emotions down. And so, in high school, I continued that. In college, when my roommate said that she was not coming back to school, I wrote the break that had to come. And so that's how I manage my feelings. And there's one poem in there. Do we have 2 minutes that I could?
Oh yeah.
Okay, there's one poem in here. When we had the Black Lives Matter movement, and I felt like that was something that that needed to be documented. And so what I did was I wrote a poem about black lives. And I thought about it, and I said, black lives do matter. Little black baby, starting life like any baby from the fallopian tube through the uterine tunnel into the light after so many months of darkness. Little black child, feeling such confusion when that little white child has a room of toys, a closet of clothes, a table of food, a safe park in which to play, and he has none. Growing black teen, fighting the hand he was dealt, searching for an easier way, navigating pay to play. She feels different, thinks different, looks different, but pleads to be treated the same. Angry black man, with unapologetic demands, but with an inner fear that his life is not serious, that his life means little, so he does little with his life. Such a self-fulfilling prophecy. Frustrated black woman, so much depends upon her broad, bold black shoulders, so much depends upon her firm, callous, toughened hands, so much depends upon her solemn, steady, firm resolve. I hear her moaning, a wife's moaning, a mother's moan, at the sight of that strange fruit that shared her bed, that came from her womb, now in a tree tied to a noose, as if his life did not matter. She shed tears at the sound of shots from guns piercing the air, from pepper spray filling the air, from the smell of smoke and flesh and death enveloping the moment, as if his life did not matter. Frustrated black woman, angry black man, eager black teen, growing black child, little black baby, I got news for you, your life matters. Black lives have to matter, brown lives have to matter, poor lives have to matter, Muslim lives have to matter, LGBTQ lives have to matter, white lives have mattered, and now all lives must matter.
Oh boy. Oh
I get into that spirit.
Ooh, give me that book. I don't want you to take it back by mistake. Oh my.
So, but yeah, even now I still write because that calms me. It soothes me. You ask about my children's books. One of the books I wrote was A Special Bowl of Oatmeal, and it was the motto on that was, bringing a child in the world does not make a mother, but raising a child and loving a child in the world does. And then the other one was The Sunday Before Christmas, and that one is about a female pastor, and it's basically about the best gift is love, and not necessarily material things. And so, and then my other book is a book of poetry that includes celebrations of women, men, and it deals with life issues.
Okay. How do we get the books? How do we get the books? You gave me this one, but how do I get hold to them other three? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know, I like to go around at times and read to classrooms and all that. How do I get the other three?
I will make sure you get the other
Is
three.
it being published or is it private?
I actually have a website, but I have not maintained it like I should. So that's one of the things. As my steps are closer to retirement than not. One of the things that I plan to do is to expand my
really look
writing. And
so we can't at this time. People can't go online and actually purchase the book.
If you should be able to go to my website and EvettSimmons.com.
Okay, so just remember EvettSimmons.com. That's easy enough, and of course you could Google Evett Simmons if you need to get to the website, right? But you can get to that website and order a book from her. Okay, I hope that you get some hits because this is powerful. We thank you for putting it in words. And reading is so powerful, and that's why we do everything we can in St. Lucie County Public Schools to teach our children to read and to enjoy reading. Yes. We don't have enough time because we can go into things that I'm thinking right now just from what you were saying. You know, I think about how my daughter, who's now a federal judge, who you know personally, how she at one time did not want to read books of color. Why? Because she never had them exposed to her in school during that time. And so I had to get her to the library to help her understand her people and why we sometimes do the things we do as far as other classmates and other people. And so she becomes sensitive to that, you know. So books are very important. Talk to us right now and tell us what book or quote someone said to you that could have possibly changed your life.
Well, one thing that I think about that changed my life was my mother. And like I said, I was 10 when she passed away. I just turned 10. And I think about the just the fact that I remember nothing bad about my mother. From her hopscotching with me once to just making me feel that I was special.
Yeah, were you an only child?
I was the youngest of 6 children, and really what happened was that she had 3 stillborns before me when they discovered that she could not carry a baby full term. So I was the only one born in the hospital. Everybody else was born with a midwife. And but I was always had some sort of purpose.
Do you remember a quote or that maybe your aunt used to say, something that...
Yes. And maybe this is why I went to law school. My aunt made sure that we cleaned the house, ironed the clothes,
Back in the day,
even had to iron the
too.
pillowcases. Couldn't have any class. And she said that you better do it right because you might have to do it for a living. And the one thing I was not going to do for a living was ironing clothes.
and clean.
So maybe that's what inspired me, because I still remember that. And the other one that I remembered my sister was that all a single woman had was her credit. And in my mind, my credit was the most important thing.
Hopefully keeping a good credit.
Oh yeah.
Some people depend too much on credit, but hopefully
no.
Look, we almost out of time, attorney. But I want to ask you this question: do you believe in second chances?
Oh yes, yes, because that's I'm a woman of faith, and grace is why I'm here. And grace is about second chances.
Amen.
So if you are at the end of your rope, you're not just tying a knot to hang on, but the reason you're able to hang on is because of God's grace.
I totally agree with that.
So don't, young people, if you are in a bind, or if you find yourself in a situation that you didn't expect, that's not the end. That's just the journey is the destination. That's just the end of that chapter. And you got to deal with whatever that next chapter is. But you can do it.
My last question, only because we're run out of time. This is the last one, and that is, what teacher in school made the most impact on you and why?
Miss Jacobs.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Miss Jacobs was my first grade teacher. Miss Ashley was my second grade teacher. Those were the only two black teachers that I had that had an impact on my life. Because the next time I had a teacher was in high school that was one class, and I really didn't have too much in college either. But Miss Ashley, she was the one that convinced my mother for me to go and integrate the schools in the third grade. And when I graduated from law school, she sent me a telegram. Believe it or not, a telegram congratulating me on my appointment. I mean, my graduation. So that woman was special.
You know, I'm sorry that we ran out of time, because I had so many questions that I could have asked you and just dived even deeper into your journey and into your life. And hopefully we can do this again and be able to really dive a little deeper. If you know anyone that you know would make an impact on this program, please invite them as well. Let me know, give me some names and so forth, because I know that you know a lot of people. I do know that. You know, I had my guest before you. He knew you, you know. So, Attorney Simmons, thank you so much for spending these 30 minutes with us and sharing the nuggets that you've shared. I'm sure there's somebody out there that will be able to use a nugget that you spoke today, and we appreciate you coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I'm sorry the poem took up some time.
No. We got to have you back. We got to just, and don't y'all forget the book. Have a great day, everyone.